Hey guys, it's JonTaun here from Total Brohammer with my fellow Brohammer.
Sekarma.
Yes, and we are here looking at the patch notes for what CA is calling the Resurgent update. So,
Yes.
as you know, me and Sekarma have had early access to this update and have been playing it for a while now. And by the way, guys, sorry for not posting in the last few days. I've been real tired after the tournament, so I just thought I'd take a little break here. But let's go ahead and get into it. So, the first half of this is basically just general bug fixes, which is all good and dandy. But we want to get on to the multiplayer changes here, and mainly the unit balancing. So we'll go over this top part real quick. Firstly, I'll just go over what the Resurgent update actually adds. So this update includes, well, you gotta buy it, so it doesn't technically include. But what's coming in this patch is the Queen in the Chrome DLC. We got the Aneth Eleanor, or what's that high elf guy's name? Elithanar, free LC. We have Norska returning, if you have ever purchased Norska or pre-ordered Warhammer 2. Elithanar, yeah, did not know his name at all.
I call him Eleanor.
Eleanor, that's a good nickname, I like it. And we have the 30th anniversary Regiments of Renown returning. So a lot of stuff returning, a lot of new stuff. There's a lot to look at in this new patch. And so from this top part, most of it's campaign, and me and Sekarma are thinking about doing a campaign soon. So maybe we'll look at that one day. But the only thing
in the comments if you guys want to see something like a specific matchup or something like that.
Yeah, we can do co-op, we can do head-to-head, whatever y'all want.
Whatever you guys want.
Anyway, the only thing to gather from this part, as far as multiplayer goes, is that Norska's here, Queen and Chrome DLC. You know, we'll go over all that in the unit balancing section. I'm sure it will be in there. So let's start here. General, it says half impact of 7 units on balance bar. I like that. Good change. Adjusted Regiment of Renown stats to match the new rank 9 units. Yeah. All good. Increased mass for most infantry lords and heroes. Patch notes will only highlight the biggest changes. Sounds good to me. Steps in the right direction so far. Pass on heavy cavalry mount entity mass. Don't know what that means. Did they make it better? Did they make it worse? Not a lot of...
that was totally ambiguous. Whatever. I don't no idea what that means.
I feel like cavalry performs a little bit better now. What about you, Sekarma, so far?
I think so. Yeah, the charges are much more impactful. I think it's not quite at the level of Game 1, but it's definitely improved from the beginning of Warhammer.
All right. And the first faction they have on the list for unit balancing is the Tomb Kings. Previous to the patch, they were very, very strong. Probably a little bit too strong, if you ask me. One of the top tier factions for sure. Let's see what they did. Doubled the healing amount on Realm of Souls. Well, that doesn't sound good, but we'll see where this goes. So they
were too good before. Let's nerf them by boosting them.
Hold on. Maybe they got some nerfs in here. I'm seeing a lot of negatives. All right. So Arkan, Tomb Blade of Arkan now summons a large unit of skeleton warriors instead of healing. I believe he has 5 charges of that. So
that's good, but not as amazing as it was before.
Yeah, especially with the double healing. Liber Mortis now gives +8 leadership. Duration reduced from 20 to 15. Okay, that seems all good. Cimmerian War Sphinx. Now, I took a quick look before we start this. Cetra on the Cimmerian War Sphinx. Cimmerian War Sphinx in general. Tomb King on Cimmerian War Sphinx. They're all getting debuffs. Minus 15 armor, minus 292 health, and minus 8 charge bonus. So, pretty good. Yeah, those are some pretty good stat changes. I'm not sure if it's going to make too much of a difference, but we'll see. Minus 15 armor is no joke. It'll help. And hopefully in combination with all the other nerfs. So we got Cetra.
And the fact that, well, just to quick note, since Arkan doesn't have Tomb Blade anymore, at least not what it was before, and I think Liber Mortis also was changed from just now it gives 8 leadership instead of the missile or the physical resist.
Yeah.
So that'll make those Death Stars a little bit less scary.
Yes, indeed. Like, I hate the Tomb Kings whenever it counts the first 2 factions. I hate unbreakable factions. All right. So Cetra was also looks like he got a bit of I'd say overall a buff on his Chariot of the Gods. Minus 5 melee attack, minus 3 melee defense, plus 35 AP melee damage. That's really great. Plus 5 bonus versus infantry, also really great. And plus 15 base melee damage. So sounds like Cetra on his Chariot of the Gods is going to be a little bit more attractive.
So he's going to hit harder, but he's going to hit less.
Yeah. And be hit slightly more, but it is very slight. So. Shouldn't notice too much of a difference here as far as him dealing out damage. Tomb King, it just notes his King War Sphinx mount nerf. Khalidon or Necro Serpent is plus 350 mass, so interesting.
Yeah, that's something we're going to see. As they mentioned above, I mean, a lot of these units got a ton of mass increases. I think Skarsnik had the most with 1,300 mass increase.
What the hell?
I don't know what. Yeah, it's down there. It's insane. I don't know what that means, like what a 1 mass increase is versus what a 10,000 mass increase is.
That's true.
But,
that is true.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means. I don't really have any basis point for comparison, but it does appear that they're trying to, increase the impact of cavalry charges while reducing their ability to sort of cycle charge to infinity. That's what my first take.
True. Necro Sphinx, minus 10 armor, minus 408 health, minus 8 charge bonus, minus 7 melee defense, plus 3 melee attack. Sounds like a pretty good nerf to me.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes in game. Sphinx of Yusef also similarly got a nerf and plus only 1 melee attack. Higher Titan was nerfed, minus 10 armor, minus 7 melee defense. Skeleton Chariots and Skeleton Archer Chariots both got 150 multiplayer costs taken off. That's a lot of cost. So maybe we'll see those guys a lot more.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
When's the last time you took Skeleton Chariots or Skeleton Archer Chariots? I never took them.
I think they'll now be very cost effective against light infantry, though.
The issue with those units is that there's too many, right? There's like 9 models.
Right.
So they're not as effective as chariots because they can't just rush through everything. They do get caught, but as you said, they will be more effective.
Indeed. Blessed Legion of Fucketh, minus 7 melee attack, minus 3 melee defense, or demonetization as people call it.
Turn call. That's a great joke. I like that.
It is good. King Nehesh's Scorpion Legion looks like they got a little nerf here. Minus 1 charge bonus, minus 6 melee attack, minus 1 melee defense. Sepulchral Stalkers Regiment of Renown, minus 1 melee attack, plus 6 melee defense. So it looks like they overall got a buff. Tomb Scorpion, minus 10 armor, minus 320 health. Very interesting.
Very good. That's very good.
Yes. I think it needs a little bit more, but you know what? Let me find it here. I saw somewhere up above that there was something done with the animation or something. What it said was it had something to do with guard mode. The Tomb Scorpion. Okay. So what it was Tomb Scorpion's animation when it was on guard mode. It would actually take it out of the combat because it goes underground, goes way far away from everybody.
Right.
And then if he's on guard mode, you just stand over there. So they fixed that, which is honestly going to make it better. But that is a bug, and that does need to be fixed. So I think he may need a little bit more of a nerf, but we'll see. Yushati and Yushati Great Bows minus 10 armor. I think the Yushati Great Bows honestly needed a slight accuracy nerf. I think they're a little bit too accurate right now.
They are too accurate.
Chosen the Gods.
I don't think the negative terror armor is going to make all that much of a difference because the problem with the Yushati Great Bow is that they're a ranged unit that can't be taken down by cav, or at least not anti-large cav. And the negative 10 armor is really going to, do almost nothing, in my opinion. I think that was old.
Yeah, I mean they lose the cav, but it's just that they're never alone. Skeleton Spearmen,
and they won't like you if you get like an Empire Knight charge into them, they're not going to melt. I mean they'll hold for a while. Against Empire Knights, and that's like a mid-tier, lower mid-tier cav, but still they'll hold for a good long time against them. So,
True.
I don't know.
Looks like the Chosen of the Gods were nerfed a little bit harder, minus 10 armor, minus 5 melee attack, but plus 2 melee defense. Necropolis Knights all have plus 350 mass, so as Sekarma stated earlier, we really don't have too much reference to go on how much 350 actually is, so that'll remain to be seen whether that's actually makes a difference or not. The Screaming Skull Catapult is slightly increased accuracy. That's warranted, I think. It's it's a unit that is more. You're more supposed to use it for the leadership debuff than its actual damage because it doesn't do a ton of damage. Yeah,
I mean, it's really ever a good pick over an Ushabti Great Bow, right?
Because
you have more utility out of Ushabti. That's usually the reason, but. Just real quick, like an overview before we continue. I mean, we're going to go through, a little more in depth on each unit, but I think the general overview of this patch, I wrote it down this morning. There's 2 main things. So increase in mass across the board. A lot of units got a lot bigger mass, which I think, again, is to help prevent cycle charging and, large units just sort of cycle charging in and being destructive as they are. And large units were nerfed across the board. As we saw in the Tomb Kings, you can see across the board, you got the Cameron War Sphinx, you've got the, what's it called? The big guy, the Hero Titan, all those things.
Hero
I've been nerfed a little bit.
Yeah.
Hero Titan.
Necro Sphinx. A lot of us, multiplayer YouTubers were complaining about the Monster Mash, and we've seen a direct result of our complaints here. It looks
Yeah,
like
that's nice.
the monster mash is died down a lot without making monsters useless. So.
And I think the lesson here is bitch until until people change something.
Yep.
Just bitch and complain, and then eventually someone will listen.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that, you know what, and that's exactly why they gave the high elves those armor piercing missiles.
Indeed.
Precisely because monster mash. So I think we are going to see less monster mash, which is, in my opinion, fantastic.
Mine too. I like it. All right, so let's move on to the vampire counts. Before we go on to the vampire counts, before the patch, I felt like their overall army is kind of weak, and they kind of pour all their power into the Terrorgeist. So what I would like to see is a general increase to the, not their ability to stay on the field, but a little bit more their damage output for the vampire counts units, just a little bit. And I think a little nerf to the Terrorgeist would also be good. Let's see what CA has up their sleeve here. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think the problem with the vampires is that there's really only one competitive build. It's a double Terrorgeist, more Descendant build.
Right,
I mean, to be fair, everything else can be fun. You can make it work, but since Blood Knights are not as good as they used to be, there's frankly nothing else they can do other than bring those double Terrorgeist builds. And you never want to see a faction that's, so pigeonholed in a single sort of use. So I think it's, like you said, I'd like to see Terrorgeist get a little bit of a nerf so they're not must-brings. I'd like to see, their faction across the board get a buff.
Right. Let's see what they got here. So, Hex Wraith, plus 2 health per entity. Cairn Wraith, plus 2 health per entity. Direwolves, plus 7 health per entity, plus 4 charge bonus. So, I'm not 100% liking the health increases. I don't feel like the vampires need help staying on the field longer. They're already really hard to take out. I would like to see those buffs in other places, but let's continue.
Especially Cairn Wraith, that can pretty much beat Demigryphs already.
Yeah, you have to not bringing magic damage against the vampire counts is a bad idea. Alright. Dire Pack, plus 7 health, plus 4 charge bonus, minus 2 melee defense. Terrorgeist, minus 100 health, minus 2 charge bonus. That's kind of a soft nerf there. I think they need a little bit more than that. But
yep, agreed.
We'll
you know what? It depends how the mass plays out. If they can hold them on the ground, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, actually that's true, because the mass could make this different. Alright, let's keep on.
They can't cycle charge forever, Go on.
Alright, so Vampire Lord, looks like they're increasing his melee attack and his damage, looking good there, trying to make him more attractive. They're doing the same thing on his Bard Nightmare and Hellsteed, making him more powerful there. Manfred von Karstein is getting a cost reduction looks like on foot, on Barded Nightmare, and on Hellsteed.
I don't understand. He's already one of the best lords in the game, so let's make him better? It's silly to me.
I don't know. Manfred is kind of... I don't know. I usually don't bring him over the Red Duke.
Red Duke is better, but Manfred with... Well, actually, no. I don't know, man. With Fate of Buna, Manfred's probably, I would say, better in more situations.
He does have some insane magic recharge, although he is susceptible to being bullied up on. He doesn't have the greatest stats.
But he's only that... Well, on a dragon, he's pretty comparable to the Red Duke. He only has, I think, 2 or 3 melee defense.
Well, the Elseef is a difference there.
Right, he loses Elseef, but I don't know.
I think that Manfred so it looks like he's getting more melee attack and more damage, just like the Vampire Lord, across all his non-dragon mounts and just walking. So that remains to be seen. We'll see. Helman Gorst, Liber Noctis now deals on average 30% less damage. So.
Helman Gorst, the man of the people.
All right, well, you're making the Helman Gorst first. Don't know why you added him to the game, but he's better now.
You know what? I'm tired. Online, all I ever do is see Helman Gorst. Every match I play, everyone brings Helman Gorst. Can't get away from that guy. If I had to play one more goddamn game against Helman Gorst.
So, Krell. Krell is much better now. Plus 20 bonus versus large. Plus 5 hit reaction ignore chance. I've never heard this phrase before.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Hit reaction ignore chance. So I guess this is his chance to not be stunned when he gets hit or something like that. I think
so, yeah.
Plus 5 knock interrupt chance. So he's stunned less and he can stun more, it would seem.
Yep.
Plus 450 mass, removed wind-up time from Lord of Undeath. So I think he can be summoned, instantly now? There's no...
Yeah, I think that's what that means.
And also, in the patch notes at the very top, it is important to mention that they fixed a bug where getting knocked over. If you get knocked over while casting, it will still stop the cast, but will not stop your summon.
Your cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will not stop your summon anymore, so that's good. Rather, it will stop your summon, but it won't take away the charge like it used to. White King, all got plus 14 bonus versus interesting. Bonus versus infantry, which is interesting. Sorry.
I like that though. I like it.
That's okay. Yeah.
You know, you can't make every hero anti-large, you know? If they make, I mean, I get why you'd want to make heroes anti-large, and vampires actually need an anti-large hero, but you don't want to see every single hero coming around the game with, okay, here he's just like a noble, like a bunch of noble clones.
So chill, guys. Plus 2 health per entity, minus 2 melee defense. Varix Reaver, minus 3 melee defense, so it looks like some cav. Debuffs here. Strigoi Ghoul King, Terrorgeist, minus 32 health. At that point, what's the point? It's 32 health.
Yeah.
Vlad von Karstein, plus 4 melee attack, plus 30. It looks like a lot of the lords are getting better in melee. Added Arcane Conduit in multiplayer. Interesting.
Huge. That's huge.
Yeah, that's good for Vlad. Definitely gonna make him more powerful.
He needed it. Yeah. Well, he's like a Sigvald type character. Like you put him on the ground, and he's not gonna kill anything, but he's gonna hold out forever.
Indeed.
So he's a good little lord to bring now and again.
All right.
Again, of course, it might change with like Ungrim.
This is gonna be a long video. Let's try to speed it up a little bit.
So speed it up.
So it looks like Feasters in the Dust, minus 2 melee defense. Konstein Stalkers, minus 3 melee defense, minus 50 cost. Interesting. Sternsman, minus 3 melee defense. Tithe, minus 1 melee defense. So some nerfs going down here. Which I don't necessarily disagree with making them not stay on the field longer. But I think they needed some extra help with killing power. But we'll see. They usually outlast units long enough to kill them. Like, yeah, we'll see.
They're not meant to kill, though. Sternsmen aren't meant to kill.
True. Devils of Schwarfhofen, minus 2 melee defense, plus 10 AP melee damage, minus 10 base melee damage, so,
it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, everyone's gonna bring him. No one's ever gonna bring him.
No,
So, Bargeist got more AP instead of base. Morse Indrin, Reliquary, Corruption Aura now deactivates out of melee, so you have to be in melee to suck everybody off. I like that. Claude Nagash, minus 1 melee defense, you have to be in melee now. Red Duke on foot was buffed, interestingly enough, plus 10 charge bonus, plus 20 AP melee damage, plus 30 base melee AP damage, and was also buffed on his horse steeds. So his Bard Nightmare and his Health Steed as well. Vampire all got plus 50 cost and more AP and base damage. Vargulf minus 50 cost. Vargulfs are probably going to be used a lot more now. Skeleton Spearman minus 25 cost. That's okay, I like it. Blood Knights plus 2 AP melee damage and plus 330 mass. So they saw your video, Sekarma. They must have,
They must have, man, because that's necessary. I'm very happy with that. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's a good start.
All right, and the mass will almost certainly help a lot as well. So here we go. Dark Elves, one of the new factions here. Let's see what changes they have besides their new units and everything, which everyone's gone over to death by now, so y'all know what the new units are. So. Alright, so Death Hag on foot, minus 15 missile resistance, plus 20 physical resistance. Death Hag on a Blood Cauldron. Blood Shield of Cain changed from plus 11% physical resistance to plus 6% physical resistance. That's okay. Dreadlord, Sword and Shield, Black Dragon, plus 4 melee attack. Sword and Crossbow, Black Dragon, plus 4 melee attack. Looks like Dreadlord on Dragon will be slightly hitting more. Malekith, Cold One Chariot, plus 3 melee attack, minus 8 melee defense, minus 2 bonus versus infantry. Plus 70 AP melee damage, plus 30 base melee damage. Interesting.
Yeah.
That looks like an overall buff to me on his chariot.
Yeah, we only ever really see the chariot against dwarves.
Yeah,
we rarely see him on a chariot against anything else.
That is true. Sorceress on a Cold One removed Primal Instinct ability, so that's her ability to rampage, huh?
Yeah, 100%.
So you still shouldn't bring a Sorceress on a Cold One, because they're very slow, but she doesn't rampage anymore on it. So if you want to give your Sorceress the ability to have AP, then you can put her on a Cold One now. So interesting. K-Knight Assassin plus 20 AP melee damage. Everyone's probably going to ignore him. Cold One Dread Knights minus 50 cost. Shades with dual weapons minus 50 cost. Shades with great sword minus 50 cost. You'll never see.
That might be helpful.
You still won't see these. You'll still see if someone's going to bring a shade. They're going to bring a normal one.
Regular shades. Yeah, I guess so.
Hydra Fiery Breath now targets unit center by default. That's good.
That's helpful.
I like it. And let's go ahead and move on to the Lizardmen, as there wasn't much changes to the regular Dark Elf units. Krokgar on foot.
Anyways.
Krokgar on foot plus 600 mass. Okay, I guess. Horn ones plus 1 melee attack plus 100 mass. Krokgar on Grimlock minus 412 health and minus 8 charge bonus. Like that he's getting some nerfs here, but like to see nerfs to their ability to heal, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So
I think we could just, for the Lizardmen, I mean, if you look over here, it's pretty much just all the Carnosaurs got debuffs. You can look across from Croc, Saurus, Old Blood, all of them. They just got debuffs on the Carnosaurs.
Yes, they did.
Of 400 health, including the Feral Carnosaurs, and they got a little bit less charge.
Yep.
But I think most importantly for lizards, it's the Skink Priests, which I want to look at.
All right, Pterodon. Increased rider projectile hitbox. A little bit easier to hit. -5 AP missile damage. -5 missile base damage. Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's huge, because those guys are fucking annoying. And they got increased rider projectile. Yeah, I'm huge into that.
Yeah, so it looks like Skink Chiefs are getting some debuffs. Sounds good there. Croxagore +3 AP melee damage, +1 base melee damage. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Croxagores weren't amazing, but they were pretty good. They're okay.
Yeah,
Source Warriors, all +30 mass. Did not think that Source Warriors need more mass.
They do not need a buff. Look at the Source Spearmen, 2 melee defense.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think Source Warriors, they're just so good all around. They definitely need a buff.
They're already the best infantry in the game, in my opinion. They are the best infantry in the game.
Yeah, the fact...
pretty much everything.
Yeah, the fact that they're giving Lizardmen buffs at all is kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Temple Guard +20 mass.
The Carnosaurs, which is huge, and they debuff the Skink Chiefs, but yeah, I don't know why they gave the Spearmen.
I'm going to assume +20 mass is a very, very small amount. We probably won't even know so. But the melee defense definitely helps.
Get 1300, right? 20, how much could 20 possibly be?
True. So High Elves. Princess, all +30 AP missile damage, +20 base missile damage. So it looks like Lords in general are just getting more damage, a lot of them. So, very interesting.
I like that.
Sun Dragon is -100 cost, that's good. Sun Dragon -100 cost, blah blah. Tyrion +1 run speed, +2 charge speed. Mage Ithmar Chariot -1 collision attack max target. So when she's moving through units on her chariot, she'll be doing damage to one less target. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fair with me.
Alright, so we got the Skaven here. Plague Priest on a Plague Furnace. -10 armor. Building Death Aura now deactivates out of melee. Also very good.
It's good stuff.
Deathglow Bombardiers, +1 explosion base damage, +3 explosion AP damage. I'm okay with that. They're not the best. Well, they can be really useful, but they're easy to get on. They're easy to get on.
They do have like 100 armor though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So it's hard to shoot them down with archers. Warpfire Throwers, +2 explosion base damage, +1 explosion AP damage. You'll still never see Warpfire Throwers. Plague Call Catapult, slightly increased accuracy. I didn't think they needed an accuracy bonus. They seemed really accurate to me already. But
I agree.
Okay. And also, buffs to Skaven is also kind of confusing.
The last thing they need. The last fucking thing we need.
Skaven are super versatile, super strong faction. Gutter Runners with Slingers, +2 missile base damage. Okay. Night Runner Slingers, +1 missile base damage. Okay. Warriors of Chaos. Archean. Foot, +750 mass. Good to see.
Yep.
Archeon on a Dorgar. I'm assuming that's how you
on a Dorgar. On a Dorgar.
Assuming that's how you pronounce his horse's name.
Yeah, it seems right.
+12 run speed, +300 mass. Also sounds
It's actually
good.
pronounced Dorgahar.
Dorgahar, really?
I'm Dorgahar.
I'm Dorgahar. I'm Techless. Alright. Chaos Lord, all +5 leadership. Chaos Sorcerer Lord on a Manicore. Got some more health and damage.
Big buff,
Yeah, Chaos Sorcerer on a Manicore got a lot more damage, Very interesting. Manicores have a lot more damage output, so that's cool. Exalted Hero, you never see these guys. More health and leadership. On a Chaos Steed, more health, leadership, and armor. On Bard Steed, health and leadership. Health and leadership overall. And on his Manicore, more damage as well. So looks like Manicores just get a buff overall, as you can see with the Feral Manicore. Kolek, -432 health, -8 charge bonus. I like this as well. With increased mass, maybe he won't be such a world destroyer anymore. Sarthoril, the Everwatcher. Reduced collision height, increased projectile hitbox, added arcane conduit and multiplayer. I like all these changes.
Although the projectile hitbox doesn't really matter because he has like what 50% base resistance to missiles already. Isn't it silly?
It's like I think it's 70%, but you know anything that makes him a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's okay.
What does reduced collision height mean? I don't know what that means.
I assume he collided with things that were above him sometimes, maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Dragon or Shaggoth got the same. Looks like Shaggoths are just nerfed with health and charge bonus. Dragon Ogres got a buff with more armor and health per energy.
Which they needed.
Yeah,
they needed
I agree.
That for sure.
Marauder Horseman with Javelins costs +25 costs. I'm okay with that.
Move as well.
Hellcannon now uses a fixed trajectory corrected by homing. Improves Hellcannon projectile homing. Okay. never see those guys, so maybe I will now. So, Greenskins. Now, here's a big one for the Greenskins.
Yeah.
Wa is now a map-wide ability that gives plus 26 melee attack, plus 18 charge bonus, and plus 24% speed for 30 seconds, which recharges in melee.
Pretty great.
So, this is really good. Definitely wants me to bring Grimgor more, because he's just going to be in the front line attacking here. I believe Sekarma thinks he should get a slightly upgraded version of Wa, since he
should... I mean, I've spoken at length about my Grimgor stuff, but like CA, if you're listening, give Grimgor unique ability, make him like you've increased his max. That's great. Give him one unique ability, and then everyone will be happy. That's all you gotta do. Just give him a unique ability or like a Mega Wa. All you gotta do.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we talked about that before.
That'd be good. Wurzag now has Wa again, and his War Paint was nerfed. Instead of 11%, it's 6%, and he no longer it's now active all the time. I believe before he had to be out of combat, so I'd say that's an overall buff.
But I think Wurzag is going to be the must pick for Greenskins now, as in terms of competitive, because he has the Wa again, and he has magic, and he has armor piercing, and he has a mount, and he has the what's it called, effigy to get.
He does seem quite good. Great,
yeah,
Goblin
must pick.
Shaman added Wa ability in multiplayer. That's good. Grimgor got his 500 mass, plus 3 melee defense.
Yeah.
Skarsnik got plus 1300 mass. Goblin has been eating a lot of stunties lately. I like it. Let's see.
I like that too.
Orc Boar Boys plus 2 melee attack. These guys still blow.
Don't do anything. They're garbage.
Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins plus 2 melee attack plus 100 mass. Why are these guys so expensive? Savage Orc Boar Boys plus they also got that buff. Hammer Gort. Yeah. Got some melee
stuff. It's not gonna matter.
Debuffs, doesn't matter. Broken Tusk Mob got less melee attack, more melee defense, and leadership, so it'll last a little bit longer.
I like that.
Death Creepers got some minor nerfs here. Durka Squig, minor nerf.
I would say -5 melee attack and then -1 melee attack. There must be a
one of these is probably supposed to be melee defense.
Yeah, melee defense. Yeah.
Durka Squids 2 got -2 melee defense. Mogur's Mangy Marauder. So it looks like overall they got all their skirmishers got less effective in melee, so I'm okay with that.
But they are really. I mean, there's just a few. I mean, it's only slight buffs for the Greenskin. I think we can go over it, but I think the Wa, the new implementation of the Wa is huge. I mean, they cut through a lot of different units now with that Mega Wa. It's pretty impressive. I think they might be. We'll have to test them out, but they might be a top-tier faction now. But we gotta test them out.
Yeah. So it looks like the rest of these guys, Moonhowlers -3 melee attack plus 1 melee defense, -50 cost. That's all good. And slight buffs and nerfs to the rest of these units: Thief Robbers, Warlord's Boy, Rusty Arrows, all that jazz. Nothing game-changing here at all. So we'll go ahead and move on to the Wood Elves. Forest Stalker melee defense modifier changed from 20% to 15%. I'm okay with that. Wood Elves are very powerful. Ancient Treemen, negative to health. I don't think this was required because no one brings them anyway, so why?
They're not very good.
Yeah, interesting. Orion, plus 15 bonus versus large, plus 134 AP missile damage, plus 30 base missile damage. So it looks like Orion's is going to be a bit better now. Wild Riders got less mass. I think Wild Riders are a very cost-effective unit. I like that as well.
They're a little too good.
Sisters of Thorn, max 2 uses on Shield of Thorns, max 1 use on Curse of Banner here. I agree as well. Very powerful unit, very powerful spells. I like it. We'll move on to the Beastmen here. So Kazrak got 650 mass. Dark Mail now always affects wizards in 40-meter radius rather than relying on them to be casting inside the range.
And that's a spell that people have always been confused because it's like it says well casting, but he's not a caster. So I don't even know really what it means. I don't really know anyone who's been able to give me a definitive answer on what Dark Mail, how it works.
So basically, all you need to know now, people, is that if you bring the Dark Mail and you are fighting a caster with Kazrak, they're going to have -18 armor and -9 melee defense. Probably not worth it unless you think they're going to bring a caster lord.
Well, if you're fighting like Malekith or something.
Yeah, Caster Lord. Alright. On his Razor Guard chariot, he can now Vanguard, so that's cool. You can go complete Vanguard Beastmen armies.
I think he's the only Lord. Hits him, I think Eleanor, and does the Gobbo shoot? I don't think it does. Does Skarsnik just... I don't think he does.
Oh,
yeah,
I'll
check. But yeah, you go on. I'll check. You go on.
Yeah, and he's just getting... Kazrak's just getting buffs all around on his chariot, except -1 collision attack max. So it looks like they're debuffing a bit of the single entity chariots here and there, but none of the really broken ones. Beast Lord on his chariot also got the same buffs as Khazrak and debuffs. Spray Shaman on his chariot, slight buff and slight debuff on him. Minotaurs got +2 charge bonus, all of them. Feral Manticores got their damage buff. Synagores minus 50 mass, I like that. Cygor, slightly reduced accuracy, that's okay with me.
Yep. So
Empire.
yeah, it's only Khazrak and Eleanor who can forward deploy as lords that I see, at least.
I'm pretty sure a Goblin one can.
I just checked, man. They can.
Really?
Yep.
That's crazy. All right,
Crazy.
Empire. Y'all know I love my Empire, and I definitely
They
want
got a
some.
ton of changes.
Definitely want some major buffs for him. Balthazar Gelt, Barded Warhorse, added Hide and Forest. Didn't know that that was a thing. And Gelt on his Warhorse added Hide and Forest. Yeah, I mean,
hear him from everywhere.
how can you hide something that shiny? You know.
I am the Supreme Patriarch. Like you can hear that, from miles away.
Yeah, just his massive melted cheese glistening in the sun. Alright. Empire Wizards all changed Channeling Staff into a new scroll of blast item.
Let's see what that means. I'll check what that means right now.
I haven't tested it yet, but it's something that can miss, so it's something I probably won't be bringing a ton. So, yeah.
It's just a bound spell that does. It's a magic missile.
Yeah, I think these guys just need Arcane Conduit back, to be quite honest.
It does only cost though 56, so it might be worth it.
Maybe. Boris Todbringer got +5 leadership on all his mounts. On his warhorse, he got +5 armor. Karl Franz got +3 melee defense. Can't wait to bring Karl Franz now. He's going to be such a killer. Witch Hunter added immune to psychology. That makes sense. Add magical attacks. Also makes sense, I suppose. Reduce missile penetration. Okay. Accusation now has 3 max uses. I'm okay with this.
I think that's absolutely necessary. First of all, they needed magical attacks. They didn't have many magical attacks. That's helpful. They were a little too good in missile penetration, and I think obviously accusation being infinite use was a little.
Oh yeah, definitely. So 3. This Witch Hunter seems like he's in a good place now.
Yeah.
Empire Captain, Bard Warhorse, blah blah blah, and Bard Warhorse, blah blah blah. No one cares about that. Warrior Priest, all +35 armor, +100 costs. Warrior Priests are still pretty useful. They definitely don't need a cost increase, even if they do. They honestly need more armor based on their model. Still, they have like 80, I think. So give these guys 100 armor. Reduce their cost, if anything. They need to be just a frontline buffer. Just something there to buff your front line, because the Empire front line is pitiful as far as combat stats go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why War Priests aren't like, they should be more like Runesmiths. I mean, then they'd be really useful.
Yeah,
they're not. Yeah.
Empire Knights +50 mass, Reichsguard +50 mass, Knights of Blazing Sun +50 mass. Based on the numbers, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. Only +50, but, I haven't noticed too much of a difference. Crossbowmen got 1 AP, -1 base missile damage. Okay. Handgunners got +1 AP missile damage and +1 base missile damage, so I like that. Now that handgunners actually work, they can do some pretty good damage. Great Cannon, slightly increased accuracy. I have not felt the effects of this yet. It seems like it's still very inaccurate and not really worth bringing. Steam Tank. 1500 health, -5 melee attack, +15 bonus versus infantry. Still not worth bringing.
I don't know, man. I mean, in certain matchups, competitively, maybe not, but in certain matchups, if you bring a Lore of Life Wizard with, you can heal them forever, man.
True. I think it's just too expensive. Your Empire armies, like you already can't go wide enough to defend like all your guns, unless you're bringing no guns. I don't know. It'll be hard to pull it off, but Steam Tanks are a little better now.
I think they're much better, man. Because the problem before is they couldn't hit anything because their melee attack was so low, and they were pretty weak health-wise. Now they have 160 armor, 6,800 health. They have that bonus versus melee now, so they have 45 melee attack, which is pretty decent. I don't know. I can see them being kind of useful. We'll see.
All right, let's look at the Luminarch of Hysh and Templehof Luminarch. So what I'm reading here is they have more ammo. They do less damage per shot. They're more accurate. They fire more often, and they cost less. I like it.
Just a massive buff. Yeah,
I like it a lot. Let me see what their abilities do here. Locus of Hish now passively reduces enemy magic power recharge rate by 20% for each wizard in play. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. You know, this will make it kind of useful against the vampires, perhaps, who tend to often bring more than one caster. So that's interesting. Aura of Protection now gets plus 12% ward save in 40-meter radius and deactivates when player magic power is below 15. Also very interesting. And the price decrease is definitely a help here. So maybe Luminarchs bring one every once in a while now. We'll see.
Against vampires, I could see them being alright if you can protect them. But I mean, between nets and the Luminarch, if you can use your nets well, maybe.
Yeah, and it looks like the Temple Health got all the same changes here, and except only a minus 300 cost. Okay, I like it so far. Hammer of Witches got worst in melee, but was slightly increased accuracy and minus 100 to cost. Good changes there. I like that. Based on what I've done so far, it's still not that accurate and can't deal out damage fast enough to, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm about to make an Empire video after this.
That's pretty good. And they have a I didn't notice this before. They have a physical resist of 25%.
Interesting.
I don't know if they had that before, but
well, they must have had before if it's not a node here.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
Well, sometimes they don't always add all the changes.
Also true.
But yeah, that's a pretty big one.
So Sunmaker, worse in melee, reduced cost, slightly reduced accuracy. What the fuck? Let's see. Okay, let's keep on looking. Projectiles now 70% AP. Okay, there we go. 70% AP damage. Explosion damage is now 70% armor piercing. Minus 20 explosion base damage plus 25 explosion AP damage plus 1 detonation radius. So these guys, Sunmaker's good against armor now. Interesting.
Yeah, could be.
I have to try that out. It's also cheaper.
Yeah.
Hellstorm got cheaper and is also AP now, but they're still way too inaccurate if you ask me. Hellblaster Volley Gun is cheaper and does more damage. I like it. Roll all types Griffites. Minus 4 melee attack, plus 3 melee defense. Still a garbage unit. Very situational use. Not a fan of.
Almost never pays for itself.
Yeah.
It almost never pays for itself.
If anything, if it's fighting a monster, it's not going to do great. And if anything else is involved, it'll probably lose.
Yep.
Zentler Trice Guard. Looks like they. Minus 2 charge bonus.
A little bit of a nerf.
Minus 3 melee attack. Plus melee defense. Plus leadership. Yeah. A little bit of a nerf. Sigmar's Sun.
Well, it's made them more survivable, but less damaging.
Yeah. Sigmar's Sun. Minus 2 melee defense. Minus 50 cost. I understand the costs. Buffing, debuffing any melee stats of any Empire units doesn't make any sense to me. Silver Bullets. Minus 2 melee defense. Plus 1 base missile damage. Okay. I like it. Stolen's Revenge, minus 4 melee attack, minus 25 costs. Again, don't know, yeah.
Pretty big nerf to them.
Pistoliers plus 10 range, increased accuracy. Ooh, Pistoliers. Maybe I might bring some of these guys now. Plus 10 range and increased accuracy. Maybe I should try these guys out. So overall, on the Empire, changes in the right direction. I think what they need to do to the Empire is just reduce the cost of their infantry. Great swords should cost 900. Halberdier should cost like 575. 650? Who's going to pay for a unit that is 650, doesn't have damage output, and only has 30 armor? They're absolute garbage. Way overpriced garbage, too.
Their stats are pretty comparable to like Spearmen. The only thing they have is armor piercing, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, they're easy. They're just they just die to everything, and they're easy to avoid.
Yeah.
Crossbows need to be taken down to about 450, 425, I think. They're not great, especially compared to their Bretonian counterparts. And Fladlings need to be taken back to 525. They're not the beasts they were in Warhammer 1, and they have been nerfed and nerfed. And why do they cost so much? They're not good. Reduce those prices. But otherwise, the Empire's looking on the up and up. We'll see.
Yeah.
Dwarfs. All right, let's get into some Dawi stuff here. And you wanna take over talking about this stuff now, Sekarma?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Well, there's only 2 factions left, but we'll do it real quick. So he's got a few new abilities here. So you have added new Oath of Vengeance ability. So Thorgrim now has a reduction to melee defense of an enemy unit. I'm gonna go take a look. I'll look at it later. But yeah, so that's a little buff to Thorgrim. He was already a pretty good lord, but yeah, he's a little bit better now. Ungrim has Red Ruin, which is fantastic. If you guys seen some of these videos online that we've been showing, us and fellow YouTubers, Ungrim is a very, very powerful lord now.
So what that does is trade melee defense for more weapon strength. Interesting.
Yeah. So he's like very dangerous in melee right now. Very, very dangerous. Grombrindle, 2 melee defense, fine. Okay, tweak that. Generic character item choice is fine. So Rune Lord, Anvil of Power, plus 150, probably needed that. They were a little too cost effective, but not terribly so. I mean, dwarves are a good faction, but they didn't really need too many nerfs, in my opinion.
Locus of Power ability.
That's something similar to what the other guys had, so I'll go check it out real quick right now. Where am I looking? Dwarves.
That was on a Rune Lord, right?
Yeah, on a Rune Lord, when they're on the Anvil. So if you take a Rune Lord on the Anvil, you get the Locus of Power, which does plus 15% magic resistance. So that's constant. So you can't. It's not an item anymore. It used to be an item that you could take or not take. Now it's just constant.
Oh, okay.
So it's just forcing you to take that, basically. That's the only change they've gotten. Grumbling Guard. Yeah. Well, Master Engineer here. I mean, still no one's going to take it, but improved accuracy, increased range by 35, increased projectile mass velocity. Still, no reason to really bring them. Grumbling Guard. Added charge defense versus large. Didn't they have that already?
I guess not.
Interesting. -2 charge bonus, +2 melee attack, -1. Yeah, all good stuff. A little bit less mass for Longbeards. Goblobber, doesn't really matter, except for slightly increased accuracy. Grudge Thrower, slightly increased accuracy. That's good to see. Dragonback Slayers, this is interesting. So -2 charge bonus, -5 melee attack, but 12 plus melee defense.
Ooh, that's an overall buff.
Yeah, that's definitely a buff because they die quick. They've never had trouble killing. They've always had trouble just surviving. So that's an overall buff for them. Echoed Miners, -2 melee defense. Yeah, it's fine. Ironbreakers, -20 mass. Not going to change much. Norgolm's Ironbreakers, -4 melee attack, +4 melee defense.
Okay. Oh, come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're never going to die. That's your best plan to deal with Norgolm Ironbreakers is just to ignore them. Scholar Guard, doesn't really matter. -2 melee defense.
Of all the units to nerf, the Scholar Guard?
Yeah, the Scholar Guard. Because, again, them and Helm and Gorst, man, I can't stand these guys in multiplayer. Every time I play, so I'm going to always bring the Scholar Guard, so I'm going to always bring Helm and Gorst. So we got the Peak Gate Guard here with a weaker charge bonus, a weaker melee defense, and a little bit less cost. That's fine. You rarely see these guys anyways.
Yeah.
Ulthar's Raiders, less melee attack, more melee defense, more leadership. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, 3 less melee attacks, 3 plus, so I guess they're making everything kind of more survivable on the dwarf side, but less killy.
Yeah, looks like it.
Cool. And then 1 minus melee defense with a Skyhammer, increased clattergun accuracy. That's probably necessary. Gyro Bomber, increased clattergun. That's probably worth it. And then Bugman's Rangers, -20 mass. That's all fine, well and good. What do you think about dwarves, John?
I think dwarves are in a pretty. I'm not the greatest person to ask about dwarves. They're literally the only faction I refuse to play most of the time.
That's fair.
So I'm just gonna stay quiet on the dwarf one. Fighting against them, I feel like it's still not doable for some factions, but overall, I feel like the dwarves have the tools to deal with a lot now.
They did lose Tormentor Sword, which is a big nerf.
They don't have Tormentor Sword.
Big nerf.
But
so they have no way to pin down units.
I still think they're pretty good, especially with the Dragonback Slayers, and they're slow.
Yeah.
Not to mention the Runesmiths, and they're slow, so...
Yeah, I agree. I think they're still a top-tier faction right now.
Yeah,
as you said,
I may put them second tier. But...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on to a faction that is certainly not top tier. Bretonnia, my former favorite faction, how far they have fallen. So all non-flying knights have increased in mass about 50. Again, if Scarson's getting 1,350, how much could that possibly be? Probably not that much. Albrecht, Spirit of the Tempest, who cares? No one's going to bring Albrecht. All the Prophetesses, again, someone you're never really going to see in multiplayer. Change Scepter of Stability item to new Scroll of Assault of Stone item.
Have you seen that? It drops a bunch of stones on the battlefield. It does some pretty good damage.
That's pretty cool. Really? Okay, so that might be worth trying out. Oh, cool. So Pegasus Knights and Royal Pegasus Knights, reduced unit spacing, allowing more men to connect with their charge. That could be helpful, but I think that the flip side of that is they're going to be easier to shoot, I would assume, because there's less space between them.
Maps.
The hitbox might be.
We'll see if that actually makes a difference here. Based on my testing, the Pegasus Knights were still really bad against large, but we'll have to do some more.
I can believe it. Questing Knights got a huge buff of 5+ bonus charge and 100 minus cost. That is massive. I mean, you give that charge bonus and then you couple that with the fact that they can do lance formation, and these guys are a very, very good unit right now.
Yes, I
in my
agree.
opinion. So you're going to see a lot of Questing Knights, I think, in the new meta for Bretonnia because they are very effective. Battle Pilgrims, 1+ health for entity, yeah. Foot Squires, 1+ health, yeah. Grail Relique, minus 866 health, but minus 100 cost. I think that's the fair trade.
I like it.
Yeah, they were a little too survivable before, so that's nice. Knights of the Realm, minus 50 cost. That's a big buff because Knights of the Realm are already pretty cost effective, and now they're even cheaper, so that's nice. Paladin, Barbed Warhorse, who cares? Green Knight got 600 mass. That could be helpful, maybe. We'll see. I mean, he's already on a horse, so it's not like he can be knocked over, but we'll see. The hashtag blessed field trebuchet. Just got a buff all across the board.
Well, minus 10 explosion base damage in there.
Base damage, but yeah, they
but
got
more AP,
though.
so yes.
Yeah, and then and a bigger radius, and then slightly improved accuracy, and then the hashtag unblessed field trebuchet, just better accuracy. So yeah, I think Bretonnia needs a lot more buffs. Rather, I was gonna say nerfs, a lot more buffs than this.
I think they could use some more buffs as well. And guys, also I want to throw in here that we're playing on an old build, and a lot of these changes might not actually even be in the current build we are on. So our unit testing that we've done and everything so far, that might be subject to change. Yeah,
100%. That's worthy of note. But yeah, I think Bretonnia. I mean, your favorite faction was Empire. My favorite faction was Bretonnia in the last game. So the humans factions. I think they're both pretty.
They're definitely still way in the bottom tier for sure.
There's nothing they can bring that's like, oh yeah, this is going to be a game changer. You still have to use good micro on Bretonnia. You have to be smart with your play on Empire. There's not like a Kolek who I can just be like, okay, I'm going to be able to dominate with this guy.
Yeah.
Unless my opponent's really, really goes out of the way.
They're very unforgiving factions.
Yeah, very unforgiving.
Because their tools are easy. They only have certain tools like Empires, their cav and guns, and for Bretonnia, it's just their cav. And you can build against those pretty easily. So they're easy things to counter.
Bretonnia, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Bretonnia struggles against halberds, and I think Empire struggles against large. And I mean, Bretonnia also struggles against large too. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe with the buff to handgunners, that might change it a little bit.
It's definitely Empire's definitely stronger in this patch, but a lot of the other factions got stronger too. So
right, and at the bottom here, it's just abilities improvement. Nothing crazy. I looked at it before, just a few minor tweaks.
Okay.
So Curse of Anarchy here, short. Yeah, this video's gone on long enough, I think.
All right. Well, I want to look at it real quick. Let's see if we can find anything real good in here. Curse of Anarchy here was buffed. I like that. Ember Spear. Plus 300 base missile damage, so it does less AP, but a lot more regular damage. Gaze of more.
I looked at it before.
More AP.
There's nothing crazy.
Oh, okay. Fiery Convocation. Removed random direction change angle. I might actually bring the Bound Fiery Convocation now, because now that it goes in a straight line and won't accidentally go onto my troops, it can actually do some pretty good damage against some lightly armored units. So I'll probably bring Bound Fiery Convocation on tech list from now.
But the only problem is it takes like 10 seconds to cast, though.
It does.
It's very easy to dodge. It's such a long cast. Not cooldown. The opposite.
Interesting. Soul Quench. Looks like it lost a lot of its base damage, but got transferred into AP. I've seen Soul Quench do an insane amount of damage if you use it in the right situation. So
I've never seen it perform, so I don't know.
I'll have to show you how that works, but it requires a certain level of play. Fireball got the same buff as Soul Quench. Vampires, Van Hell's Dance Cobb got increased time, duration increased for Courtiers. Blah blah blah. Byron's Time Warp and upgrade duration increase. I like that. I love Byron's Time Warp. People need to use it more. Looks like a lot of the projectile spells are just getting more AP.
Yeah, because no one uses them, right?
They're getting buffs in general, it looks like.
Yeah.
So, Just Burning Gauge is actually losing AP and getting more regular damage, so interesting with that. White Battle.
Just Burning Gauge is really good, though.
Lore of Little Wog, blah blah blah, some power decreases, AP damage. Lore of Death, Fate of Buna. Change entity hit chance from 0.25 to 0.18. Now needs 50 entities to max out on damage. Plus 2 power costs. CA, so this really isn't a nerf here. The plus 2 to power cost is good. What you need to do is like what Jan on occasion has been suggesting. Have Fate of Buna do half the damage, but also give it a negative to 27 melee defense. And why would we do? How would you do that? It still does good damage, but it gives the other player some counterplay. Now, if you pop that on some of his calf, and he can get away from your troops while that Fate of Buna is on him, then he can mitigate some of that damage. It gives him the ability to mitigate some damage. And that's what I think you need to do for Fate of Buna. Makes it more fair, makes it not like a one-hit delete, because it still does a crazy amount of damage.
It's just a senseless spell. Like, no one likes Fate of Buna. It makes it fun for no one. You bring it because it's competitive. If you want to win, you bring Fate of Buna, fine. But it's not a fun spell. No one's like, oh, that was such a cool use of Fate of Buna. No, it always does the same thing every time. Everyone uses it the same way. And frankly, it actually makes the game worse because you don't want to bring the Fireborn because it costs only 100.
Yeah, and you don't want to bring other Lords of Magic besides healing because you have to deal with Fate of Buna.
You got to deal with Fate of Buna, and you don't want to bring Grail Knights and stuff like that because you're like, oh, there's gonna Fate of Buna and then it's over.
You can keep it the same in campaign, but in multiplayer, it needs to change.
Yep, agreed.
Lore of Ruin, blah blah blah. Nothing. Power decreases, cost decreases. Other abilities: Guardian change from plus 22 physical resistance to plus 18. Forbidden Run, reduce average damage to self by 30%. I like that.
Useful.
Blood Statue Spite, reduce damage from 0.2 to 0.18. So that's pretty big reduction.
Well, 10%, yeah.
Yeah. Now for our scroll mining contingent, add max 5 targets. Bloodlust can now target self. And Hellbronze, the Cursed Blade ability currently continues to apply damage, even when its effects should be blocked by phased recharge.
Milky Cookies Total War made a good video about that. It's pretty much, it's just a broken spell.
So her ability is broken right now, guys, and that's why she gets such huge amount of kills. So that'll definitely be fixed next patch.
Yeah, they're gonna fix that, right quick, as soon as they can, I'm sure.
So guys, that's all the new factions and everything that's changed about them per this per these patch notes, the Resurgent update. So a lot to look forward to here. A lot of exciting stuff coming down the road. And again, on that campaign topic, if y'all want to do a head-to-head co-op or a single player,
let us know.
Give us some. What do y'all want to see? What do y'all want to see? I was thinking of maybe doing an
We're going to give Warhammer back to its people.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be all for this one. Thanks for joining us. It was a long one. This is JonTaun from Total Brohammer signing out. And what do you have to say goodbye, Sekarma?
Guys, I was trying to think of something clever, and it didn't come to me. So I guess the takeaway here is that, you don't always have to be witty to be loved.
That's true. Sekarma, I don't find you funny at all, and I love you so much. Yes.
You're negging me, bro. You're negging me. You fucking watch the pickup artist videos. You know just what to do. God damn it.
God damn. All right. See you guys. We need to end this. Bye.